Hi, Ron Benning, SacramentoInvestor.com and StocktonInvestor.com, back with another market update. This is for the month of July that just passed, and this is for duplexes. For Sacramento duplexes, there's been some really interesting statistics that we will be able to see on the first chart. If we look on the left-hand side of that first chart and we go back to July of 2019, you will see that there were 75 properties on the market and 40 of them went pending that month. Jump forward to the right-hand side of the chart and you will see that we have only 51 properties on the market in July, and we had 42 pending sales, which means that there's substantially less inventory than there was last year at this time, and actually more sales. Now, a second really piece of interesting information that you will see on that chart, and I actually have a separate little graph here that I want to pull in, will show a really interesting trend. So about March, when we were having the shelter in place happening, you'll see there was a rapid fall off in the amount of closings. And then since April, you will see that it took off like a rocket ship. 22 pendings in April, 27 in May, 38 in June, and up to 42 pending duplexes in July. If you look at the next chart, you'll see that although a lot of people were expecting that we were going to see decreasing prices because of market conditions with the COVID-19, in the duplex market, we have had the exact opposite effect. You will see if we look back to about December of 2019, the average sale price was at about $445. If we look at the most recent months, we will see that the average sale price for a duplex has risen up to $507,000. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with two things, and I touched on that on the fourplex report recently. Because of COVID, a lot of the Bay Area employers are no longer requiring the employees to come into the Bay Area, which has had an effect of having many people moving out of the Bay Area, coming to commuter cities like Sacramento and Stockton, we are being told a lot of that's going to be permanent. But some things never change irrespective of market conditions, and it's really about supply and demand. Our demand is actually back to normal, but our supply is substantially less right now. Does that mean that you can't get a good deal? No, there are some that are still good deals, but you need to be able to move quickly. In summarizing the Sacramento duplex market for the end of July, we have a 2.7 month supply of inventory. It has risen a little bit in the last month from where it was. It was at 1.4 months at the end of the month last month. So hopefully we will continue to see an increase in inventory. If we increase the inventory and the demand stays about the same, we might see a little bit more flexibility in the pricing. But in the meantime, I would assume that we're going to be in a competitive market for duplexes, at least for the next month or two. Let's move on to the Stockton market for duplexes. Wow, the Stockton market for duplexes is really interesting information on these charts right now. If we look at July of last year, there were 19 duplexes on the market and there were 8 pending sales in the month of July. And if we look at the information for July of this year, there are 19 properties on the market and there are 25 pending duplexes in Stockton. I've never seen anything like it. Take a look at that on the chart. And basically, we had a lot of that same fall off in March. You'll see at the bottom of the chart on the right that the dark band is the sales. There was a falling off the cliff, went from 13 to 4 closed sales and only 5 in May, back to 6 in June. As the markets opened back up, the pendings took off like a rocket ship. 5 of them In May, it went to 12 in June, and all the way up to 25 pending sales by the end of July. What that means is that people are recognizing that the duplexes in the Stockton market are a value right now, and there's been a lot of new interest in that market from where it was before. The average days on the market is about the same. The average sale price compared to list prices actually went down slightly. It's about 97% of list right now, but the actual days on the market is only about half what it was a few months ago at 43 days. At the end of June, we were looking at about average of about 80 days on the market. Having said that, with this new increased demand for duplexes in Stockton, we have seen that the inventory pre-COVID, we had a 1.3 month supply, and then it rapidly grew to a 6.8 month supply, and over the last 4 months it has fallen every month, and we are back down to 1.6 month supply of inventory. So as you know from my previous information that I've sent out, at a 1.6 months inventory, that means we're in a seller's market. There are still good values, but what we need to do is when we find the good ones, we need to be prepared to move quickly on them. If you have any questions, me or Sean would be happy to answer your questions. Our phone number is just down below. We look forward to helping you buy your next investment property in the Sacramento market or the Stockton market.